I'm not ready.
Welcome. Hello and welcome to the 4th episode of IMO. I am your host, Liam.
And I'm your other host, not Emil. That's my name. My name is not Emil. No, it's not. My name is Fergus.
Fergus is here because Emil is going through some stuff at the minute. So, unfortunately, he's not able to come down here every week, which means no regular Emil as of now and the immediate future.
Oh, we should get a sound effect thing.
We could do it together.
Don't do that. You're one of those people that stands by a pool and says, "Look, we'll both jump in together and watch the other person jump in," aren't you?
It's exactly what I do on a regular basis. So what we're going to do probably is have some kind of new regular schedule, which isn't every week, because Fergus doesn't live nearby, do you?
Yeah, and Liam has school on a Saturday.
Yeah, okay, just... Alright, don't rub it in. It's hard enough as it is. Okay?
Can everyone just...
I can't deal with this.
If you're on YouTube or something, just rub it in the comments.
Don't rub it in.
Rub it in. Just a little bit.
Okay. It's actually not that bad, is it? It is, isn't it?
Well, I moved, so obviously I think it's...
It's depressing, because I just get so tired. Anyway,
we're not here to talk about
my depressing
life.
But, okay, since I haven't done an episode for so long, I now have, like, an awesome piece of news, because they completely missed out. This is recent news anyway, but it's awesome, there's water on Mars, like, This is like a big deal on like the deal scale. This would be high, okay? As it turns out, I've done a little bit of reading in all directions.
Reading down, yeah. Reading from left to right, and downwards.
Okay. It's not actually like a big lake or anything, which you know.
Well, no, that's the whole idea. Is that like most of it's
not
gone,
like
isn't it?
It's not like it's like they've scientists all this time were just looking at the wrong
place.
But the Curiosity rover, the recent, fairly recent Mars rover, which has been up on Mars, just roving around.
You chose the wrong thing. 50-50 chance.
Basically, it took a big scoop of soil, and 2% of that soil was made up of H2O. When it was heated up, a large amount of the vapor was H2O, steam. So this is awesome because, like, all the astronauts of the future, like, from like to the space, they can like use this soil and extract water from it, which would be so awesome. Cool. Like, it means we don't have to like spend the ridiculous amount of money that it costs to drag a ton of water, like multiple tons of water, to Mars. This is awesome. And also even bigger deal, like, okay, could be life,
nuclear explosion
like life,
deal,
like
microscopic
life,
because they think a lot of the water.
Like,
the problem is why they can't find water in huge amounts on the surface is because there's ice underneath it, and that's why they can only find little bits.
Oh, how weird would it be if there were actually like massive creatures underneath the ice in Mars? Probably isn't, but I can dream. Okay, like, this would just be.
But
so
there
insane.
are on Doctor Who.
Yes, and we all know Doctor Who is completely real.
Yeah, so there is ice warriors on Mars.
I know, this is insane. Like,
genuinely, there is ice warriors on Mars.
For all we know, there could
be ice war. There could be like mental armored like walking cactuses with skiing goggles on Mars.
God, I wonder what they got with skiing goggles. See,
that's pretty much what an ice warrior was. Like an armoured cactus with skiing goggles.
We can't turn this into Doctor Who.
No, we can't. Right, okay.
We'll get too distracted.
Yeah.
In fact, this goes for pretty much every TV show. I watch too much television.
You can never watch too much.
So, like, that news from yesterday was, like, probably the biggest news relating to Mars since did they find fossilized
remains.
So,
What they thought was
Do
fossilized
you remember
remains.
that picture where it
We've
looked
really researched this really well.
I haven't researched it. This. What I do remember though is like watching this ridiculous documentary at like 3 a.m. where you know that stupid picture where it looks like Bigfoot's on Mars. Have you seen that picture?
Yeah.
I watched I was watching this documentary where this guy was absolutely convinced that it was Bigfoot, and we were like, or some like space Martian man. I wonder if he's like even more convinced now that there's water on Mars. He's probably somewhere, like with photos up in his room. He's probably packing up shop. He's probably on his way.
He probably came from there.
There was some less awesome news.
Well, it's not really news. Something that's been talked about a lot recently, and we thought we should talk about it because we're.
Well, the thing is, because there hasn't been an episode for a while, we've missed some biggish stuff. And I just want to cover this because of how stupid it is.
One story that's been going on and on and on and on and won't seem to die, because it's obviously just waiting.
So we thought we'd talk about it.
No, well, this is my point. I thought that the only reason it's not dead yet, the story, is because we haven't talked about it yet. It's waiting for us.
Okay, yeah, very logical.
Basically, this is the Miley Cyrus story. Yeah, so if you don't want to know the results, look away now.
Well, actually, that's not really going to do much, is it?
No. In fact, look away now. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Because, Miley Cyrus being a bit controversial on the telly. And it's not a huge deal, but it just seems a bit stupid. I mean, if you don't know, if you've been living under a metaphorical rock recently.
Or a real-life rock. I don't know.
You wouldn't be living under it, though.
You
wouldn't be living. You'd be dying under the rock.
Could be a cave in the rock.
Look, stop being facetious.
Sorry, carry on.
Right. Basically, what she did was she was a Disney person, so she was quite a sweet, adorable, actress and singer on a Disney Channel TV show called Hannah Montana.
Miley Cyrus.
It's called Hannah Montana, and it wasn't very good. But it was kind of, it meant well enough.
Yeah, the idea of like it was fair enough for kids. It was a really childish kids show, right?
And then recently, she cut her hair short. Then she appeared in a music video where she pretty much wore like the tightest white outfit she could find, and how should I put this? She was at a party in the video, and she pretty much humped everything in sight.
Like everything.
Like the air. Genuinely. Which she calls twerking. But we'll dub it humping the air, because that's what it is. Then she did this at the Video Music Awards, MTV Awards. Wearing very little, a flesh-coloured tight bikini.
Didn't she hump everything again at the VMAs?
No,
then?
well, she got humped by Robin Thicke, who's like
Robin Thicke, such
this all walking innuendo. Robin Thicke, who sings that Blurred Line song, which has also been quite controversial because it's dubbed a bit distasteful because it's about him trying to sex the women and
all of the women.
Yeah, and features lyrics such as "I know you want it." I don't want to sing it now because I hate it.
Yeah, but I know what you're on about. Though.
But anyway, she did a weird dance with him, and recently she's tried to claim she wasn't trying to be sexy, even though she was I think she was trying to be controversial. It's so obvious.
She was wearing like skin-coloured.
Yeah,
barely a bra type thing.
This is what she said about it.
I know.
She said, I wasn't trying to be sexy. She says, if I was trying to be sexy, I could have been sexy. I'm going to change my accent now. I can dance a lot better than I was dancing. People are like, Miley thinks she's a black girl, but she's got the flattest ass ever, she says.
Sorry.
I'm like 108 pounds. I know.
Is that
now people expect me to come out and twerk my tongue out all the time. I'll probably never do that shit again. Then why'd you do it to begin with? And her dad, the voice of reason has said that it was her trying to create a special moment. Oh, isn't that nice?
Wasn't it special
no,
though?
It's not.
Wasn't it special? It was
pretty
so special
rank.
that I think everyone. Wasn't there some really funny reactions from like people in the audience?
Then no, the best. Well, the probably the climax of this story is probably the newest music video she did, and basically she's naked and she sits on a wrecking ball, and she's blatantly. It seems like she's trying to stir up controversy.
So yeah, I'm yet to see this, but I'm not going to because I've just had enough.
Basically, watch the parodies; they're better. Basically, she's in a wrecking ball and she licks a sledgehammer at some point.
Well, I'm sure that's attractive.
And she tried to claim that it was meant to represent her being exposed, but I'm sure you could do that in some other way.
With licking less sledgehammers.
And
yeah, but what?
And there's some quite funny stories about pendulums outside universities in Colorado, I think, where it had to be the pendulum that stood outside. It had to be removed.
Yeah,
because people were jumping on it and filming parodies, students, which is quite funny.
The thing that annoys me most about this entire story, though, is the fact that her father was so supportive of her. Like, of course she's going to keep doing crap like this if her dad is encouraging her, right?
Yeah. Well, I just think she seems like she's for a while she's been complaining about never being seen as a credible artist, and I think if you do things like that,
then no one's going to take you seriously.
Who's going to take you as a credible artist?
In fact, I think she's dug herself so deep she's not going to get out now, is she?
Yeah. Well, if you want to be a credible artist, you know, I don't think being a credible artist is that hard. If you think about it, because I think you should just do what feels right, not like stir up controversy or wear bikinis in public. But I think the best way to, stop this is to do the opposite of what we're doing now.
It's just talking about
it, yeah, giving her exactly. This is what she wants.
I guess I'll move on, but I'll keep relevant.
But hopefully that story will go away now because we've talked about it.
Sexualization-ness, which is just
it's
like the only thing that makes the news right now is sexual deviancy and all that crap. This is a fantastic article I found on Huffington Post, which I love, by the way. Naughty Leopard, quote, Halloween costume for a 2-year-old exists because nothing is sacred. And this entire thing is so hilarious. Basically, I'm not going to read out quote directly from the article, but in Walmart there is a Halloween costume for a 2-year-old called a Naughty Leopard, and it's basically like a gothic skirt type dress, and it's extremely depressing because you hear rubbish like this like all the time. And I, by the way, like as someone from the UK, the fact that they've said that it's spotted at Walmart it doesn't surprise me because the kind of bad rap that Walmart gets in America from every American.
I've always just assumed it's like Tesco.
See, that's what I thought as well, until I kept hearing like from every source that Walmart is like
because Asda, which is if you're from America land, is one of our supermarkets. We have like 3.
What was it? We have Tesco, Asda, Morrison's, and Sainsbury's. So they're the big 4 ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And Asda is owned by Walmart.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, it's Walmart's branch in.
Asda isn't really that bad.
Exactly.
Though, is it?
So that's why I didn't think it was that bad.
But that's the thing, like, when I read this and it said spotted at Walmart, I was like, okay, that makes sense, because I understand that Walmart has a bad rap for everything. But anyway, I'm just going to read a bit of it here. It isn't even October, but the latest disturbing sexually suggestive Halloween costume is already making rounds on the internet. It's a Naughty Leopard, sized for a 2-year-old. My favourite thing about this entire article is that they interviewed a 3-year-old, and it says, 3-year-old Claire loved it! Because of the sparkles. And it's just like, wow.
Well,
it's like, but they're like, well, Claire, don't you think it's a bit revealing? No, but the sparkles.
But if you look at the costume though, firstly, it's not actually that revealing.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just a dress. Doesn't look naughty in any way. Secondly, it doesn't look like a leopard.
That's probably the worst thing about this entire scandal.
It's black and purple. That is the least, and it has some ears. It looks like a bat, and it's not naughty. It's not naughty in any way.
Well, the problem here is that whatever brand put this out, is that they labelled it as a naughty leopard because they thought it would sell more. Like,
well, yeah.
It's
What-
clear sexual branding towards children, right?
What? Well, I don't know. What does naughty mean? I mean, obviously it's something to do with scolding in the sexual term, but, when you're 3...
Yeah, but it's
doesn't
not
really
3-year-olds who buy it, is it?
No, I suppose not.
It's their parents. They probably...
And I don't see how it's naughty in that way, either. It just seems a bit bizarre.
It's not itself, but it's like probably a way to sell more. And it annoys me as well, because like the sexualization of kids, like everybody is against this. Like everyone's like, oh, this is completely ridiculous. Why is everyone doing this? And then...
Who's supporting it? Because this keeps happening.
It just keeps who keeps thinking it's a good idea? Because obviously then there's a team of people who are like, wow, naughty
There's
leopard child sexualization, like sexualized costume. Do we all think that's a good idea? Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
No, we don't. But sell it anyway. It's like,
if you look at the article, at the bottom there's a gallery, and some of the costumes there are a bit ridiculous. Like there's this one that looks like a devil.
Yeah.
Which is just ridiculous. And then there's some ridiculously short skirts up there, and you think, what are these people selling? Kids.
Yeah.
Why would you want to sell them that?
It's extremely hypocritical. Like, stuff like this happens all the time, and yet it seems like everyone's against it, but no one actually
cares. Who thinks it's a good idea? Maybe people don't care that much.
I don't know. I think it's a bit... whether it's an issue or not, like, is one part of the problem. The other part of the problem is the fact that people
if it is
are
an
just
issue,
really hypocritical about it.
Yeah.
So that's probably what annoys me the most.
No one ever actually wants to do something themselves.
I'll put a link to this in the description, by the way. I'll put a link to like pretty much all the
doobly-doo.
articles, if I remember, in the doobly-doo.
Yep, you can see all the articles there.
Yeah, and
we're also trying to set up a Facebook or a Twitter account. Let us know which or either.
Well, the thing is that I would like more direct way of like there are some new people who've subscribed on iTunes and stuff like that, and like they're clearly downloading and listening, but there's no real way. Like I've set up an email, but like who really uses email?
What email address can they email us on, Liam?
God. I do have there is an email address. If you want to email stuff like questions and topics we can talk about, like if you want to ask us questions about like our opinions of anything,
share your opinions on the things we've had this week.
Then it would be contact.imopodcast@gmail.com. I'll put that in the description as well, actually. So if you actually want to email us with anything, then
can we? Do you think we should issue a question for next week, and you can email next time? And we'll go through all the answers.
I don't think we should do that yet until we actually get clarification that people do email, because, like...
If you think that's a terrible idea, do tell us, and we won't do it.
I think we should move on, though.
Alright.
I've sent you an article.
Have you?
The gay.
The gay.
The gay.
The gay teen who is... There's an article about a gay teen who's worried he might be a Christian. Don't worry.
It's the Onion, right? But I love the Onion. They're absolutely hilarious. And I've read this article, and I know that it's an old article, but I just have to share it because it is just so hilarious. Give it a read.
Okay. Louisville, Kentucky. At first glance, high school senior Lucas Faber, 18, seems like any ordinary gay teen. He's a member of his school's swing choir, enjoys shopping at the mall, and has sex with other males at his age.
I love the way they worded this.
But lately, a growing worry has begun to plague the young gay man. This young gay man. He's not the only young gay man. Maybe he is. Annoying feeling deep down. He may be a fundamentalist, right-wing Christian.
That's the thing. I love. Like,
I don't know what's happening to me, Faber admitted to reporters Monday. It's like I get these weird urges sometimes, and suddenly I'm tempted to go behind my friends' backs and attend a mega-church service, or censor books in the school library in some way. Even just the thought of organizing a CD burning turns me on.
Oh wait, I just
added
have to take
Faber.
a moment to
I feel so
accent.
confused. What? How? It's not. I wasn't aware that being Christian or something was something that lodged itself deep in your subconscious.
Is actually just a complete switch of like the like how people are like.
I think
oh,
he
I'm a
just
Christian,
wants
but
to
I
be.
think I'm gay.
I don't know. Sometimes authority can give you a good feeling of belonging or something.
Yeah, well, I
Something
although
to
this
fight
article
for.
is just like complete rubbish, like I do think that there's probably people, there likely is people out there like who are Christian, and they're just knocking themselves over the fact that they're gay or something,
Yeah.
you know, or like they're bi or anything like that, and I don't know, like the problem is like from there is that immediately they're going to feel like they're contradicting their religion, and their
It's
parents
like-
aren't going to be like if they're
Yeah.
Christian too, right?
I feel sorry for because I suppose a lot of gay people must have to repress it for many years
Yeah,
because they would believe themselves that the feelings they're having are wrong or maybe a test.
yeah, like
This is a huge issue. In fact, people with religion and how they affect their children. Because in some religions, I forget which one it was, but there's one religion where you're not allowed to have blood transfusion,
yeah.
and if you're a child, your parents have to make that decision.
Yeah,
So if your parents say you can't have a blood transfusion and you die because of their religion,
yeah.
and you're too young to make your own decision, is that ethically right?
I don't know.
You see?
Yeah.
It's like this whole circumcision. Like the fact that parents can make this decision to, make a huge decision that can hugely affect a child's life
Yeah.
can be made by the parents that, way before the children can have any say in the matter. And it's not like they can change it later on.
Yeah, I know. It's like the same as what they've started doing now in Germany, and this is awesome. This is news as well. I haven't got an article or anything I can read up on it, but I believe this is correct. Is that now if there is a child born, but the child appears to be transgender in some way, rather than assigning a gender, there's actually a third gender on their birth certificate. It's just other or something like that. Or unassigned, and then when the child's old enough, like when they start to hit puberty,
They can make their own decision.
They can make their own decision, and I think that's like the best idea ever because,
yeah, but then again, if you have parents that push that they believe in one thing that they must do for their children,
yeah,
no, should you stop them or should you not?
I think it's a generational thing because as like each generation goes by, they each have their own ideals that they were raised with.
Yeah, but
right?
It doesn't necessarily work the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sure the parents believe they're doing completely what's best for their children.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to be fair, I don't think I completely agree with the whole circumcision thing. I mean, fair enough if it was circumcision. Fair enough if it was in kind of the Middle East.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of sand and it could also cause a lot of problems, which is where it developed from.
Yeah.
But, there's not much sand in North America.
I know.
Unless you're at the beach.
Unless you
I probably don't live at the beach, do they?
Unless you're in like a place where there's
sand.
Sand.
Look. Yeah, but they...
Either way,
anyway.
Look, just because you're in a desert doesn't mean you should chop your dick off.
Quote of the week there, guys.
Yeah, just because you're in sand, don't chop your dick. Although, you might want to if it's too sandy.
If it's too sandy, chop your dick off. Don't.
Oh, I've got what I was going to say now.
We don't want anyone to mutilate themselves in any area.
Unless that's what you're into.
No, I still don't want you to do it.
No, but like, I have a huge issue with parents like pushing decisions onto kids before they're born. Like, that can cause such bad repercussions for the child when they're older. But the thing is, the fact that it's ruined their life.
So sometimes there can be exceptional cases, but say now that you were raised, because we were both raised fairly secularly.
Yeah.
You were given a secular childhood. So, and you're perfectly happy with that.
Yeah.
And you've got, but if you're a Christian and you're raised a Christian, you might be just as happy, if not even happier. So you don't know.
That's true, but if you're like doctored to be a certain way by your family when you're young,
yes, but you might completely agree with that when you're older. I mean,
might do.
I only don't agree with that. Maybe I only don't agree with that because it's not the way I was raised.
Maybe, but I think that.
But I like to feel that I was given the choice.
Yeah, but like kids who are raised as Christian, they'll probably think that they had the choice, but really they didn't, because those ideals were put onto them before they had the actual ability to make a decision.
But your ideals of a secular society were also put on you by your.
I understand that argument, but
I'm not saying I necessarily agree with this argument. I'm just putting it forward.
I know. The difference is, though, is that in every other case there would be a lifestyle put onto the child, but in this case there was none.
No, it is a lifestyle though. Secularity is.
It is, but it's probably the most neutral. It is the neutral one.
Yeah, right? I suppose.
Which you could argue is the most ideal, because then
it's one way to look
unbiased in a way. Like, not saying that everyone should be atheist forever.
No,
but everyone should be atheist. But like the idea of it, I think, is like equal in like the fairest way possible.
It's like often though, people see secularity as a whole different kind of culture of its own, like Western culture.
Yeah,
and kind of democracy is its own ideals, because we're raised to believe in democracy, but I like to think that we're told about the problems about it as well.
Yeah, well, we
a
are,
lot, but maybe not quite enough. But it does have massive problems. But you can go to. It's meant to be an open society.
Yeah.
So this whole thing that sparked off controversy recently about the veils.
Yeah.
Is it Western values to be able to see someone's face? Because if you go to, say, a Middle Eastern country,
yeah, or
somewhere like that, there was a case in Dubai or somewhere where someone had got off with his wife on the beach, and it was considered a public act of indecency. So he was arrested, and his wife could leave, but he had to stay there.
Yeah,
and he was trapped there. But and they said to the Western correspondents to our country, you say, well, no, he came to our country and he didn't abide by our values. Could we not use that same argument to say, well, if you come to our country, you have to abide by our values, and our values are to be able to see someone's face and to be able to communicate properly.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And to not show that kind of oppression to women.
The problem is that there's no individual values.
No.
The whole idea behind a religion is that everybody has the same values, and that's never going to work, because not everybody is going to have the same values. That's never going to work.
No, but you can have some collective values. Like, it's another argument with the whole Russian homophobia thing.
Yeah.
They claim that their strongest argument is that Russian values and that Russian ideals are different from Western values and ideals.
Yeah.
And I would argue, and this is counter to my previous argument, is that there are common human values that everyone should share, and human rights that everyone should get. So I think,
I agree with you, but it depends where you come from and your background as to what those human values are.
Yeah, I agree, but we should agree on some. It's like human rights.
Yeah.
Although we all have different interpretations, there are a few that are ground rules that we've all kind of agreed on. Like, someone shouldn't be discriminated because of their sex, race, sexuality, gender. I've said sex, that's the same thing as gender.
No, but I agree with you, and what's really depressing about like issues like this, like these are all really important issues that we just listed, and in our country, the people we know now are soon going to be able to vote and make decisions. That's really depressing, because a lot, like, unless you actually take I've taken politics as an A-level at college.
They are trying to introduce, as I said recently, like, I know this gets a lot of rap, the Welsh baccalaureate
Yeah.
qualification that a lot of kids have to do. But there is in that an understanding politics kind of thing, and they do try to educate you, and I think it's education that you wouldn't otherwise get.
I'm not a fan of the huge Welsh baccalaureate, but I do agree with that. I think politics is more important than maths in some ways, because it's actually something that is going to have
society.
It's going to have a real relevance for the rest of your life.
I think it's important for some people, the Welsh, but I think it could be beneficial to a lot of people if you kind of already know the stuff on it. I'm not sure I'd help you a bit apart from giving you an extra
qualification. What makes me so annoyed is that unless you actually take politics as a subject at some point during school, then politics is not going to be forced on you for your entire life. Like some people I know, and some people in my family have no interest in politics, and they've never voted on anything because they just don't care, and they just go with whatever's going on. And that actually irritates me a lot, because you could actually make a decision. There was a vote about 3 years ago on changing the voting system, so that smaller parties would be able to become in power.
A much fairer voting system, in my opinion.
Yeah, in my opinion too. I think that was way better than what the system we've got now. Yeah, and I remember a few years ago, I was saying to a couple of people in school, like, "Don't you think this is really awesome?" And they were like, "Well, I have no idea." And even talking to adults, and they're like, "Oh, I don't really care, nothing to do with me." And I was like, "Guys, this is a massive deal. We can change the way democracy in our country works."
It's so many people kind of just said that they would prefer to keep the first past post system because they didn't. They thought the other one was too complicated. It was mildly complicated. The whole counter argument to it from the other people was, of course, I understand, Davey. But you won't.
yeah. And the truth is, our entire public didn't really get it because they had never taken part.
So it's just like, no, just vote. But if you looked at all the intellectual heavyweights like Stephen Fry, Dan Snow, loads
smart
of people who actually knew what they were talking about a lot. Yeah. Most of them actually preferred the system because I think it's a better way to get a fairer vote.
Because now we only have the three same parties. We only have the Labour, Lib Dem, and Conservatives,
and a lot of
all
careerists.
The time. Yeah, and that's it's really depressing because nothing is ever really going to change. The only thing that really changes is who's in power. Nothing really down to earth actually gets in contact.
Nothing
with changes.
We need change. I think there should be more MPs who have actually had a job and worked and know about society beforehand. I do think experience, just being a normal person, should be required for that job.
Yeah.
And a lot of controversy that happened recently because their independent people have suggested a pay rise for them. I actually think that would be a good idea because I think it would encourage more people to leave their jobs to become. Because if you haven't functioned in society, how can you represent the people you live around if you're not really one of them?
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that because now people represent a party rather than their constituents, which is not how it should work.
There's so many problems with representative democracy. We could just argue about it forever. Actually, I think we better end there because we're coming close to.
Well, should we talk? Change subject briefly and talk about something very short.
That's the thing. I've actually ended my topic list. We're pretty far in.
Okay. We hoped you enjoyed today, and we hoped you came up with some. You thought about it,
because we're a meal list now. So as it stands, we've got Fergus in, which is awesome because it's nice to have a change. But what I'd really like though is to have all three of you guys on. That'd be so cool.
All three of us guys. There's not a guy behind me. John. We don't talk about John. He's not really real. Shh.
What I need is...
Don't say that, you'll wake him.
What I need is a third mic, but it's just I don't really have the money right now. Maybe
Mike's a whole different person.
Oh, fuck off.
I think that's where we should end it before I make any more terrible jokes.
Yeah. At least you're known for that, right?
Listen again, please.
Yes, thank you very much for listening.
We need you to listen.
As it stands, there's no regular schedule, but that will hopefully soon.
Have one in half term sometime.
So like within so that's like October, November. Hopefully we can find some kind of system there. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you found it all right. It was okay.
Shall we do a goodbye together?
No. Goodbye.
Bye. I hate you.